Welcome back. How can you reach out to everyone when everyone may not be able to speak the same language?
Finding ways to inform the community, ensuring everyone stays on the same page can be difficult if you have to break the language barrier. That's why Joe Arce, a news veteran with 5 decades of experience, spearheads the KC Hispanic newspaper, publishing stories in English and Spanish to connect both worlds. The paper is published weekly, holding a readership of 35,000 per issue. The publication collects lots of local praise, but Arce says it's about much more than the numbers.
Oh, they love it. They love it because they get the information that they need. And so often, mainstream media, sometimes they don't cover the Latino community on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and so we have to be that vehicle to get that information out to them.
I love seeing the paper when it comes out and seeing the big headline stories, right, that are being translated so that people who speak Spanish can understand.
Even emergency crews work to break the language barrier, ensuring anyone can get the treatment they need in any situation. Al Ludwig of the Knoxville Fire Department learned Spanish during his time in high school, a skill that's grown to be essential for his job and become a distinguished member of the community.
We go on a scene and the paramedic doesn't know Spanish, so they don't know what's going on necessarily. You can see that someone's in pain, obviously, or something, but you don't know why. So I'm able to come in and say, where does it hurt? What type of pain is it? Do you have a history of something maybe we need to know about? Things like that. So it makes it go a lot quicker.
And having somebody like Al that's able to speak their language and direct them or ask them questions is a great asset.
And another way Al helped break down the communication barrier is by assisting in the creation of these placards that crews can use to help diagnose a problem.
A man with an entrepreneurial spirit turned his dream into reality while also providing for others. During his last year at Wichita State University, Eddie Sandoval was struggling to find a job, so he decided to start his own business from his garage. He wanted to make products made from the pinole blue, a nutrient-rich ground corn used in tortillas and baked goods, a staple to his family. A few days later, he loaded a half a ton of corn into the back of his pickup truck.
My mom thought it was the craziest, almost dumbest idea. They couldn't believe, I was about to graduate with a finance degree. I came full ride scholarship to Wichita State. I'd interned at some big companies, and I was gonna give it all up just to be grinding corn the rest of my life.
For 2 years, Eddie drove store to store trying to make sales. 4 years later, his pinole blue products are sold in 300 locations across 18 states and shipped nationwide. He says his heritage motivated him to work hard and give back by donating part of his proceeds to the area.
Now, some have dedicated their lives to speaking up for others who feel their voice isn't heard.
Yeah, take labor icon and civil rights activist Dolores Huerta, for example. At 90 years old, she is showing no signs of slowing down.
Best known as co-founder of the United Farm Workers Union in Delano, Huerta has grown into national prominence. Jose Gaspar shares her story.
This was the rallying cry by labor activist Dolores Huerta when organizing farm workers as they struck for better working conditions in the 60s and 70s. What motivates you now?
Well, there is so much work that still needs to be done. We have so many people to reach and empower them so that they can understand that they, within themselves, that they have the power to change things.
She's inspired to see young people getting involved in issues to improve their communities through peaceful means.
My philosophy has always been one of nonviolence, and I do believe that we can make changes without using any kind of violence.
Her efforts have not gone unnoticed. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award in 2012, and this year was named as one of the 100 Women of the Year by Time magazine.
We are so dependent on each other that this is not a time to promote any kind of racial hatred, and even against police, I used to be a deputy sheriff, Jose. I don't think you knew that.
That was in the 1950s when she worked for 2 years, she said, for the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office.
My job was to do the lineup. As people came to the lineup, I had to take all of their information down. And it was very painful to see some of my friends going through the lineup.
Despite today's deep political divide, Dolores Huerta remains an optimist.
So we kind of have to go back to basics, right? You know, like say, love your neighbor as you do yourself.
Great advice there. Well, still to come, an incredible story of perseverance here in our own backyard, what this local restaurant owner had to overcome to pursue his dream.